Howdy, y'all. This is Proverbs 5 in the NIRV for October 5th, 2023. My son, pay attention to my wisdom. Listen carefully to my wise sayings. Then you will continue to have good sense. Your lips will keep on speaking words of knowledge. A woman who commits adultery has lips that drip honey. What she says is smoother than olive oil, but in the end, she is like bitter poison. She cuts like a sword that has two edges. Her feet go down to death. Her steps lead straight to the grave. She doesn't give any thought to her way of life. Her paths have no direction, but she doesn't realize it. My sons, listen to me. Don't turn away from what I say. Stay on a path far away from that evil woman. Don't even go near the door of her house. If you do, you will lose your honor to other people. You will give your self-respect to someone who is mean. Strangers will use up all of your wealth. Your hard work will make someone else rich. At the end of your life, you will groan. Your skin and your body will be torn out. You will say, "How I hated to take advice. How my heart refused to be corrected. I would not obey my teachers. I wouldn't listen to those who taught me. I was soon in deep trouble." It happened right in front of the whole assembly of God's people. Drink water from your own well. Drink running water from your own spring. Should your springs pour out into the streets? Should your streams of water pour out in public space? No, let them belong to you alone. Never share them with strangers. May your fountain be blessed. May the wife you married when you were young make you happy. She's like a loving doe, a graceful deer. May her breasts always satisfy you. May you always be captured by her love. My son, why be captured by another man's wife? Why hug a woman who's gone astray? The Lord watches your ways. He studies all your paths. Sinners are trapped by their own evil acts. They are held tight by the ropes of their sins. They will die because they refuse to be corrected. Their sins will capture them because they were very foolish. Stern warnings. Again, I know it sounds like it's like attacking the ladies, right? But this is a dad to a son, right? So, gentlemen, this is kind of specific to us. Ladies, I really think it's no different. You know what I mean? Especially in our modern age where there's little distinction between us, as far as ability, autonomy, things like that. So, maybe even more so, because now we have social media apps. So, ladies, you need to equally watch out what you're doing. So once again, it's like, hey, please listen to me. You'll have good sense if you listen to me. You'll speak words of knowledge. And he drops right into it. A woman who commits adultery, right? So this is I'm like cognizant of YouTube scanning my words and wondering all about that. So you can't say the S word, right? We'll just say the union, right? The act of doing it outside of marriage is, my understanding, the same word here in the Old Testament, different words in the New. However, whether it's like, I have an aside, but I don't even know it's true. One of the things I heard is it was related to public knowledge and public shame. So often things would go on behind closed doors, but if there was no public knowledge, then there was no shame. If there was no shame, there was no wrongdoing. I don't know about that. Just something that I was told about this in this context. And it's like, he makes no qualms about it. Like, she doesn't give any thought to her way of life. Paths have no direction. She doesn't realize it. But her feet go down to death, right? Her house leads to hell, leads to the grave. But then later down here, it talks about you're basically being shamed in front of the whole assembly. It also, talking about your body and your skin, it's like from your, let's say, lack of discretion, did you gain some afflictions, some diseases through doing this, having this kind of behavior? Regardless, he says, stay away from her. Don't even go near the door of her house. Because if you do, you lose your honor to other people and your self-respect to someone who's mean. Interesting word choice here, right? Mean. Strangers will use up all your wealth, and your hard work will make someone else rich. I guess in this context, it's being taken, right? This is like divorce, someone else getting your money. But it also makes me wonder if this is like people who are participating in, let's say, an enterprise. You're giving your money to do the thing, and then someone else is spending your money now, right? Either way, that's not good. You don't want to give up all your hard work, all your wealth, all your money. And then at the end of your life, you'll groan. Your skin and body are worn out because you hated advice and you refused to be corrected. I was soon in deep trouble. And then it says it happened right in front of the whole assembly of God's people. And the well is an interesting metaphor. I don't know that I want to dive deep into that. But regardless, it's talking about don't share your well. Similarly, you're going to go out there and share your lady with other people, right? So even if it's consensual, it's the same thing. Like you're bringing shame on yourself, in front of other people. But as well, it's like this is something that you're supposed to treasure, and you're supposed to treasure your wife, right? So it says don't share it with strangers, let it be for you alone. And then a blessing, right? So may you always find her beautiful and be captured by her love and attracted to her. And then at the end, it doesn't matter, what I say or what Solomon says or anybody says, right? Why? Because it's the Lord that watches us and studies our paths. And then he's watching us, right? So it says we're trapped by our own evil acts and held tight by the ropes of our sins. The Lord watches us get ourselves into situations. Essentially, that's what it sounds like. Just like in earlier chapters, wisdom is watching and laughing and mocking. Ha, fool. I told you not to do that, and now you're in calamity. Now you're in ruin. They'll die because they refuse to be corrected. Their sins will capture them because they were very foolish. And this is what the Lord's watching. He's watching our ways and studying our paths. It's entertaining in the way that watching a show or The Sims or an ant colony, right, is interesting to us. How much more interesting are our ways and folly and poor decisions and all that to the Lord? So I'm sure you can hear that it's raining. And I managed to drop my shift because it's raining, and I didn't think I was being wise to get paid that little to work in the rain that long. So I dropped it, hoping I would pick another one up. So I'm here, making the most of it, recording this video. Maybe I'll get another one. Maybe it's time to just do some Uber Eats and stuff. So I feel silly for dropping it and not making the money. But on the other hand, if you hear the rain, 3 hours and plus of that in and out of the car and in the rain, it'll be one wet cheetah. You know what I'm saying? I'm sit here with my thoughts for a moment. And I had a bunch of stuff I wanted to talk about. I just kind of talked out, man. Yesterday, I will say I failed to mention last night. Yesterday, some old lady on a delivery asked me, oh no, I'm sorry, it was after the delivery. It was in Costco. Older lady doing a demo of food. Asked me, how do you do that? Do what? And she's like, your eyebrows. What? And she's like, come back here. Try to go out of my way, right? It's just like my grandmother. So I go over there, yes, ma'am. She's squinting at me. She's like, oh, those are your real eyebrows. Yeah, yes, ma'am. All me. She thought I had like put something on or drawn them on. And she loved them. And some other people heard this exchange and was just like, oh, don't go changing. And I was like, well, I've had these a long time and I've fought them, but over the years I've realized like it's just how God built me. I got giant anime eyebrows, right? What you gonna do? Enjoy it. Praise the Lord for it. Be who you are. And a couple of people kind of looked at me and it's like, the Lord watches my ways. He studies all my paths. I don't think he cares about my hairstyle right now. Years ago, I used to wear the little Vibram 5-finger shoes. I should get back to them. There was some kind of lawsuit about them because they were built a little weird, but I liked them. They're good for my feet. And I would get some flack about it at work. And finally I spoke up. And it's like, we don't need hard shoes. This is an office environment. They are non-slip, but that's not the issue either. I sit behind a desk all day in my own office and type on a computer and talk on the phone. So was I hired here because of my choice in footwear or for the ability to do the work in systems engineering? They didn't like that response, but the point was taken, and I was largely left alone about that after. Oh, I don't envy these people. Perhaps I made the right decision. Everybody's out in rain ponchos. All right, I took advantage of the rain earlier. I came home between work and between this work, and I made myself a mushroom spawn lasagna with cardboard, wood pellets, King Stropharia mycelia, wood pellets, cardboard, lion's mane mycelia, wood pellets, cardboard, oyster mushroom mycelia, and then a little bit more wood pellets and cardboard. I sealed all that up in a giant smash burger box. So I got this little box of lasagna soaking down from all the nice rainwater. But then I also have a wood chip path with like logs and stumps, right? And over time, all the wood chips have decomposed from all the roly-polies and all the life and all the worms and all the termites and everything else. And it blooms all kinds of mushrooms now. So we got turkey tail, we got non-edibles, plenty of them, but stuff growing. And I also hammered in some plugs a long time ago, some shiitake plugs. So every now and then one pokes out, but I didn't do it quite right. And they were overdue. But in the same way, I have logs and I have a path with wood chips that are pretty degraded now. And then I have stumps, and then there are gaps between the stumps. So I took my wood pellets and put a little layer in, all between the little gaps of the stumps in the path. And then I put down some Stropharia spawn, which King Stropharia is a really aggressive wood-loving species, edible, choice edible. Then I put down some more wood pellets. Then we put down some two ways. One way, we just threw down some of the lion's mane on top of the Stropharia. On the other side of the path, put some pellets, then some lion's mane. And then more pellets, some cardboard on one side, on the path side. On the stump side, we didn't do that. And we put oyster mushroom spawn over both. And then more pellets, and then some paper, like packing paper and cardboard and stuff to keep it wet and mulch it. The oyster's really wide range species. It'll bloom hot, it'll bloom cold, it'll bloom multiple times a year, and oyster eats everything. They're all on sawdust spawn, so they should colonize. And the lion's mane promotes neurogenesis in your brain. Well, all over your body, but helps you regrow stuff in your brain. And it tastes delicious. It tastes like a shrimp or a crab or a lobster when you fry it up. And that's wood loving too. It can grow on chips or sawdust, but better on stuff. And then I held back a little spawn, mixed some fresh wood pellets with them. I'm trying to make some spawn. Why wood pellets? Because it's sawdust that's packed together, and it does it so hot that it heats up, and like it doesn't fuse exactly, but the heat pasteurizes it, so it's near sterile coming out the bag. So as the water hits it, you've got a pretty sterile pasteurized media that can just immediately be colonized. So wish me luck. 2 years I've missed my spawn window, and today was a perfect day since it's raining for the next like 2 days. So it'll give it time to get happy, all the wood to expand, all the mycelia to run through it. And then hopefully I can take more pieces of it and dissect my little lasagna and make more spawn and get it all scattered throughout the yard. Can't tell I'm a nerd for this kind of stuff. These are species that are good for processing things, and I'm trying to get Stropharia acclimated to processing the cardboard, because with the delivery jobs and stuff, I run through so much cardboard. It could be both a source of food, a source of income, and just teaching people how to do this. So I'm going to try to put together more of these videos. Been going through this YouTube course. I really do want to learn how to shoot better, edit better, be better production value, trying to get my life tamed so that I can do that. And I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to start with like how to save the world with stuff, with plastic, with glass, with mushrooms, with cardboard, whatever. Not from, we don't need to save the world from stuff. We need to figure out how to use the stuff we got. All right, with that, I'm going to drink my mushroom coffee that my lady lovingly provided for me because I needed something hot. And this one apparently has a little bit of coffee in it. You drink that? If you're still watching this, do you like mushrooms enough that you watched 8 minutes of this? I need to know who you are. Like, comment, tell me something. I need some interaction, fam. I appreciate that you're here for the Proverbs, but if you stayed for the mushrooms, we're probably going to be friends. Go with God. Be blessed.